This year has been a legendary dumpster fire. We're already seeing so many delays, pushbacks, cancellations, so much stuff in the gaming industry is just flat out not happening. And it kind of sucks. I mean, worldwide, we're in a global pandemic. This is obviously a crisis, and it's kind of sucks to see how much everything is just being so drastically affected. But today, I specifically wanted to talk about what's going on with Sony and the games they just decided to kind of reassign, because I'm not sure I agree with it. What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, and we're going to be looking at some tweets today from PlayStation. Real quickly though, I do want to say hello to all the new subscribers and everybody. Just wanted to say a giant thank you for the shares on the Resident Evil 3 Remake review. That video kind of blew up. I'm a little bit baffled, but thank you everybody. My next major review is going to be the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm working on this video right now. It should be out, I think, Tuesday of next week. So if you're curious, definitely tune in. This one's going to be a good one. I've been playing it a bunch already, and I have a lot to say. But now, let's get into these tweets. So as you can see here in front of me, this is the official PlayStation Twitter. Update. Sony Entertainment has made the difficult decision to delay the launch of The Last of Us Part 2 and Marvel's Iron Man VR until further notice. Logistically, the global crisis is preventing us from providing the launch experience our players deserve. Now that's important, but also this note right underneath it. Currently, there are no other delays to report, but we'll keep you updated. There is a ton of rumors already circulating that not only is The Last of Us being shoved to a new indefinite date, but unfortunately, I'm hearing a bunch of rumblings that it sounds like Ghost of Tsushima is probably going to be delayed as well. Because remember, that's coming out in June, which means this just went from a very, very full year for the PlayStation 4 as it goes into the sunset to now a little bit more of a barren experience. Now, there's another part of this that I feel like is important to address, which is this. So this is the official note from Naughty Dog themselves. Naughty Dog is obviously the developers of The Last of Us Part 2, but more than that, I feel like Naughty Dog has kind of become some of the front runners for PlayStation tech. Their games are some of the most beautiful, they're some of the most interesting to look at, and they're kind of the things that have become the exemplary thing of, they're like the main example when you're talking about hardware pushers. So this is what they said. As you've likely just seen, the release of The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We wanted to reach out to all of you in our community to give you a little more information. The good news is, we've nearly done with the development of The Last of Us Part 2. We're in the midst of fixing our final bugs. However, even with us finishing the game, we're faced with the reality that due to the logistics beyond our control, we couldn't release The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We wanted to make sure that everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time as we can solve these logistical issues. We were bummed about this decision, but ultimately understood. It's what's best and fair to our players, and we're hoping that, sorry, I got my microphone in the way. We're hoping this won't be a long delay, and we'll update you as soon as we have new information to share. We wish all of you, your families, and your friends the best of health. Thank you for being amazing fans and for your continued support. Stay safe. Now, something about this sounds like it was definitely a Sony decision and not actually Naughty Dog. It sounds like the bigwigs, the executives over at Sony, decided to come down and say, hey, this is definitely just a time to push it back. We can't put this in stores. And people are understandably upset. I mean, a lot of this right now, what's going on in the world is a slow, depressing thing. There is not a lot of good news. There are record numbers of death happening every single day, and I think a lot of people are just kind of clinging to any positivity. I definitely believe that part of the reason that Animal Crossing is absolutely exploding the sales charts is because people need something to be happy about. People, right now, more than ever, need that little warmth to kind of make them feel a little bit more whole again. So the fact that one of the most hyped games, maybe of the entire year, is just getting pushed back to an indefinite time period, I understand the frustration. You can see Lots of stuff in the comments already. People are trying to make conspiracy theories that this is actually going to be a PlayStation 5 game all along. There's people saying stuff like just that they're just so upset. It's an unfortunate thing to indeed. My point with this video, though, isn't to try and feed into all the speculation, but instead ask if this was the right move. I mean, was Sony themselves wrong to try and push this back? Because let's face it, they're doing this for one reason, and one reason only, which is that they want more profit. This is being done because they think that the game will sell more copies when stores are reopened. A lot of places, even GameStop and stuff, are completely shuttered as of the moment. So if you try to release a giant AAA game, people who have a physical pre-order are not going to be able to get it. So I think that it's pretty obvious that they're doing this because they want to make sure that this project makes $1 billion or whatever. Last of Us Part 2 already has so much hype, so much freaking build-up. I mean, people know that this game is going to be fantastic, and they've already got their $60 in hand to buy it. They're clearly pushing it back just because they want to try and maximize every single penny they can. And I'm going to be clear about this. I don't think that this was the right choice. I think that you should have released it digitally. Keep the same release date, still release it at the same time, still ship the copies to people who pre-ordered it on things like Amazon, but fully delaying it seems incorrect to me, specifically because the developers themselves are talking about how the project is complete. There is a little bit of bug testing being completed, but now at this point, the game is done. It is in the polishing phases. You can't act like this needs to be put back in the oven. You're not delaying the game to try and make it better, you're delaying the game to boost your sales. During a time period like this, I fully believe that we need to respect fans more than ever. This is not a joke, I'm being dead serious. Right now, gamers, I mean, we are in an interesting spot. A lot of us are scared. A lot of us are lonely. A lot of us are just trying to find a reason to get out of bed tomorrow. That's why game sales are going up. That's why, honestly, I think a lot more people are just kind of chilling out and watching Twitch and stuff more. It's because they want to try and have that stuff to give them a little bit of hope. This game absolutely could have done that. I think that's part of the reason they also delayed this is also maybe some sorts of political correctness. And what I mean by that is, obviously, the underlying themes of The Last of Us is pandemic. It is about a virus that's spread across the globe and humanity has lost. It's already kind of conquered the entire bloodstream. Nobody has managed to make it through it other than the tiny people that are left. The Last of Us. Maybe it seems like to me they've decided to push this back because they think that it wouldn't be exactly advisable to release a game about a virus destroying the planet when we're in the middle of a virus destroying the planet. It's hard to say. I do disagree with this though, and not just as a PlayStation gamer. I, of course, want to play The Last of Us Part 2. I'm a huge Last of Us fan. You can see I have my copy of The Last of Us right here. I own it on PlayStation 3, I own it on PlayStation 4, I've beaten it multiple times, I like it so much. Over 200 Game of the Year awards. This is a game that inspires so much emotion, and it kind of is a really, really important distraction. I think that you had a very interesting opportunity here to sell copies and honestly just make people happy again. This is just my personal opinion though. They're a giant multinational company. They're gonna do whatever they want. I mean, Sony is just worrying about the PlayStation 5 at this point, and it's possible that this ends up being bundled together with PlayStation 5s in the future, or it just becomes a cheap PlayStation 4 game at some point. I guess my thing is that I want to make sure this game is good, but I also want to see it in the hands of the gamers. A delayed game is usually important. Pushing a release date to try and make sure it's better, that totally makes sense. Pushing a game back that's done, this to me is all new, and I'm not sure I like it. But these have just been my thoughts. What do you think about Sony deciding to delay these games? I mean, obviously nobody really cares about Iron Man VR, but this is still a pretty big set of shakeups. 2020 is not good. I'm ready for 2021. I'm still going to be shocked if we actually get the next gen consoles, but I guess soon we'll see. Alright gamers, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Alright, I gotta get back to Final Fantasy VII. This box is heavy. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.